Hello and welcome to this Tapping Tuesday tapping session where we're addressing a request from a member of our community to do some tapping on the fear of abandonment. Now, this is such a big shadow and something that I think really requires some time delving into and looking at some prompts and doing some journaling around where it stems from, what safety or lack of safety it has triggered within your life, within your energy and your subconscious. And then to start to look at the ways that that is now flowing on in patterns in how you are living your life, how you are engaging in relationships, and how to start to build some of that security from within yourself, rather than living through these patterns of danger, of having that lack of safety, that lack of security in your life. And so, yeah, I want to offer some prompts today, and I will write them out in the community post so that you can actually spend some time going over these, and then we'll do some tapping around, all of these things. So what I really want to question, first of all, is that if you are facing or you're aware that you have the shadow of fear of abandonment, where is it coming from? Is it rooted in your childhood? Like, what past experiences have contributed to this for you? And it doesn't have to mean someone physically leaving your life, but just having these experiences where you felt abandoned, where people weren't showing up on your behalf, or they weren't there for you, or you didn't receive what you needed to in terms of physical safety and security. You were abandoned in those moments when someone needed to provide that for you and you didn't have it. Whether it was yourself, or you feel like it was the universe or God or source energy, or whether you feel like if you were a child and you were abandoned by parents who weren't there for you, whether or not it was on purpose, there doesn't have to be the logic about it. Our shadows aren't based in logic. They're a safety mechanism that is created subconsciously. So not conscious, not logical. It doesn't need to make sense. And then the other side of that is where you were abandoned or felt like you needed someone to be there for you, but wasn't, in terms of receiving love and belonging. Sometimes, again, that can look like someone who physically left and wasn't there, and maybe you felt like it was your fault, that you're not worthy of really receiving love, you're not worthy of, there's something wrong with you that stopped them from wanting you to belong with them. Or maybe it's, again, these times where you needed that emotional support and someone just wasn't there for you. And from that you can still trigger those same feelings of not being worthy of receiving it. And whether or not that person even knew you needed them at the time, or was able to be there for you, or, whatever circumstances stopped them from being there, is not really important to how this shadow showed up for you, because it can help with the healing for sure. But like I said, it's not necessarily logical. If they wanted to be there and physically couldn't, that doesn't mean that you don't have those abandonment wounds from that situation, from those circumstances. It can still feel like somehow, especially as a child, because as a child, we just don't see things logically or experience things as logically as an adult. And so not necessarily having that understanding, or feeling like somehow they needed to be there for you and find a way to be there for you, and not really comprehending the way that they couldn't be there for you, can still create such big triggers and wounds in your subconscious energy. So understanding some of where that comes from can be important, because it can help you to break down what it taught you, what it's actually embedded into your subconscious energy. How did it teach you that you were not safe? Physically, in terms of your survival, how did it teach you that you were not safe? And the security, physical security that you needed. And emotionally, how did it teach you that you were not safe? And receiving the love and the belonging that you needed. So what did those experiences teach you about how you could be safe physically and emotionally? And then how do you see these patterns playing out now in your life? How is this coming through in relationships? How is this coming through in your connection with work and with your employers and your teammates, with your clients? How is it coming through with your relationship with God, with source energy, with the universe, and being there for you and providing for you? And then looking at how that's playing out in your current life and actually seeing, is it true that I am not receiving the safety that my subconscious thinks? Is it true that I'm not safe? You may be in a really beautiful relationship and still see these patterns playing out. So you can start to see, if you're breaking these things down, is it actually true that you are not safe to receive love and belonging in this relationship, or that there's no physical security? Or is it just the safety mechanisms that are still just on automatic replay from earlier in your life? If it is true that you don't have safety there, then that's a whole other thing, that maybe you keep manifesting these situations where you're not safe because it's this program that you've got embedded, and you're going to have to deal with that in a different way to just healing that original wound. Which, if you have patterns playing out that are false to the situation and the circumstances, then you're going to have to deal with that in a completely different way in terms of healing that original wound and healing the way that it's showing up. And then I think both of these things are going to also come down to how you can create that inner well of safety within yourself. We can never go outwards first, right? We know this from our experience with manifesting, with knowing the oneness of self and environment, that whatever is in our outer world has started from our inner world. Not only that, but we can't control people other than how we're shifting from inside of ourselves, and then knowing that eventually that's going to reflect in our environment. But we can't actually control how people are showing up in our world by just controlling them, you know? So it's always got to start from within you. You've got to create this for yourself. You've got to create the physical security. That might be financial security, ability to receive, to have a home, to have support. You've got to create all of that for yourself in order to always feel safe in it. And then if you feel safe in it, if you start even creating some of that for yourself in some small way, and that makes you feel a little bit safer in your physical self, then that's going to beget more, right? That's going to create more to show up in your life. And the same with emotional safety. How can you create that emotional security from within yourself and your ability to receive love and to receive places to belong, to like open yourself up to receiving that, feel safe to receive that, feel worthy of receiving that. And then also like just creating all of it for yourself, with yourself. So using your God consciousness here to remember that this whole world is yours, created by you, from your energy. And you are so worthy of all of the love. And you can love on yourself and create that belonging for yourself from within yourself, with God, with source energy, with the universe, with your guides. And you don't have to rely on other humans to give you love. You don't have to rely on other humans to welcome you into some kind of belonging if you are creating that for yourself. And of course, as you create it for yourself and you just feel so secure in it yourself, again, you're going to manifest more of it in your world anyway, but it starts by you having it within you. So let's do some tapping on this today. Starting on the karate chop point. And just repeating after me. Even though I have this deep fear of being abandoned, that I'm going to be left alone to fend for myself, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm so afraid of the people I love leaving me, of the things I love disappearing, and I don't necessarily feel safe. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this deep worry and anxiety around trying to keep things where they are, trying to keep people in my life. And maybe it makes me a bit clingy sometimes. Or to show up in ways that aren't really in my power. Even though I have these deep, deep worries and fears, I deeply and completely love and accept and forgive myself. All of this fear around being abandoned. All of this worry that people were going to leave. That the things I have are going to disappear. That I will be alone in times of need. That I just don't feel safe. Being in it on my own. All of this feeling like I really need others. To be here for me and for the things that I need. And just so much anxiety around that. And knowing that I can't actually control them or to make them stay. And it means I'm constantly on edge. Wondering if the things I'm doing maybe something I say is eventually going to make them up and go. If I don't hold on tightly to the people I love and the things I love, I'm going to lose them. But this makes me really clingy. And it puts me in the energy of scarcity and lack. And I know that that is only breeding more scarcity and lack. And might actually push the people I love away. I don't want to be there and I don't want to act like that. But I can't seem to make these fears go away, this anxiety go away. Because I'm remembering all the times that I was abandoned. When people weren't there for me. When I needed them to be. Or in the way I needed them to be. Whether it was to stand up for my rights. Or to really listen to what I wanted and needed in a moment. To provide things for me. Physically or emotionally. Or even just being there. Physically being there. But they weren't. They just weren't there. And that really hurts so much. And I have all this grief. Grief and anger. Around what I needed but didn't receive. And how alone I felt. Completely abandoned. And so scared. Not having what I needed. Made me feel so scared and afraid. And I felt so scared because I didn't know if I had it all in me. All of the things I needed in that moment. I didn't know my power. And that I could provide those things for myself. How could I have known in that moment? I'm just offering myself so much compassion and forgiveness. for feeling like I had to rely on others. And for the fact that this is still my default. And I still often think that I need things from others in order to feel secure and to feel loved and accepted and like I belong. This feeling like I need things from others. It just creates so much anxiety because I know it's not within my control. This feeling like I need it from others. Is it really true? Do I need these things from others? Do I need others to provide the security for me? Do I need someone else to provide the love for me in order to feel completely safe and secure? Or can that part of me, that higher self, that part of me that is connected to source energy, that channels my soul in this human life, does that part of me really have all the power and the ability to provide everything I need? Can I really source it all from within? I'm choosing to believe that I can. That I have the ability to create all the security that I need. And even if I only do a little bit at a time, I know that each small piece that I create will only attract more and more and more. And that I have the ability to create all the love that I need. And that really building up my love of self. And making that well so deep, deep into the core of the earth. And fill it up so much that it is overflowing. I know that from there, I will feel so loved just by loving myself. No matter how much other people love me. But also just knowing that loving myself that much is only going to attract the most amazing relationships where I am so loved anyway. And if people come and go, I will feel secure in my center, in my own deep well of love for myself. And seeing as I can create all of this for myself. I'm just feeling all that anxiety dissolve. because it is within my control. I have all the control and power over my safety. I don't need to worry about what other people are doing because I'm creating it for myself. I am the security and the safety in my life. I am making myself the pillar of my life. I am the pillar of my life. And from here, I don't feel that sadness or anger anymore at how other people treated me in the past. All those experiences where I felt abandoned. Because I can see that actually it was me that abandoned myself. If I'm the pillar, I'm the one who is providing for myself. In those times that I didn't have it, it was only me. And so I forgive all the rest. But more importantly, I'm forgiving myself. For the way that I didn't show up for myself in those times. And for having forgotten or not known my true power in those moments. I forgive, I forgive, I forgive. I forgive all those people in my life. I forgive myself. Not only for the ways I didn't show up for myself back then, but also for continuing this pattern over and over again. I forgive. I forgive myself. It's okay, all is okay. All is well, all is well. And I just love myself so much. I'm just sending myself so much love in this moment. Just letting myself know that everything is okay. I am so safe. I am so secure. My higher self in the universe, we have a plan. We are creating it all so that you're going to be okay. You're always going to be safe. You're always going to be loved. You're perfectly okay. All is well. Oh, take a deep breath in. Hold it at the top. And release it slowly. Just shake out. Allow your body to release any of that stagnant energy or fuzzy energy. I hope that that felt really good and brought in some relief and some belief, relief and belief in yourself.